So today we are going to look into the data structures in the Python programming language. Now there are basically four data structures in the Python programming language, or mainly there are four data structures in the Python programming language. Tuple, dictionary, set and list. This tuple, dictionary and list, these three are very much important. Set is not that much important, but we are also going to learn the set data structure. At first we are going to learn about the tuple. The first data structure that we are going to learn is tuple. What is tuple? Tuple is basically the elements or the values that you are giving to the variable enclosed within first bracket. So if you just enclose the variable, enclosed the values or your elements in the first bracket and assign it to a variable, then that variable actually becomes tuple. Now, if I want to show it in Jupyter Notebook, now let me see this. So as you can see, here I have made a variable. I have given the name of myTup. Now what is myTup? MyTup is basically a variable, and in this variable I have assigned two elements, a and 10, and I am going to assign true also. Okay, so basically I have assigned three type of data in the myTup variable. Okay, and so basically we are going to deal with it. Now if I run this, so this is basically a tuple. This Actually, these elements a, 10 and true, these are enclosed within a first bracket, and I have assigned it to a variable. This is what we mean by tuple, and tuples are immutable. That means you can't change the indexing of the mm, after making the tuple, you can't change the indexing of the values or elements that you have given or passed to the variable. And here it is also important to know that you can't actually replace any value from the tuple. If I want to change this a, and if I want to change this a, and I want, suppose I want c in place of a, I can't do that. In case of tuple I can't do that, but obviously in case of list we can mute that, we can change that. Lists are mutable, but tuples are immutable. So that is a very important thing about the tuple. Now if I want to know that what is the type of this variable, I have assigned a variable. Now what is the type of this variable? For that I have to just give type command, and I have to write type of my tup. So my tup is nothing but, if I run this now, you can see it is giving me tuple. So that means that the type of the variable is basically tuple. And now, so there is a thing that is written here that can't change after you make the tuple. Sorry for the spelling mistake. After making the tuple, we can't change the tuple. Okay. So these are couple of tuples given here. This is, I think I have made a printing mistake here also. TUB. It is not B. It is P. Whatever. So now extracting elements, individual elements from tuple. It is not table. It is tuple. It was a typing mistake by my. Sorry for that. Now, extracting individual elements from tuple. How can you actually extract individual elements from a tuple? Now, for that, at first, let me set a tuple. Okay. So here we have actually set a tuple, and I want to extract individual elements from this tuple. Suppose I want to extract this a from the tuple, or I want to extract this 10 from the tuple. Now, in the previous video, I have actually told you about the indexing. That indexing in the Python programming language starts from 0. So this index of this a is 0, 10 is 1, 2 is 2. So if I want to extract, I have to just give the name of my variable, that is my type. Sorry. I have to just give the name of my variable, that is my type. And whenever I have assigned a variable my type, and I just give a third bracket, and within the third bracket I have to give nothing but the index, or the index of the value or element that I want to extract. So suppose I want to extract the 10, and 10 is basically having the index of 1. So I will give 1 in the within the third bracket, and if I run this, what will happen? You can see 10 is being extracted. So this is how you can actually extract elements or values from the tuple. I hope this is very much clear now. Similarly, suppose I want to extract couple of elements from the tuple. For that I have to just give, suppose I want to, in this case also, It is extracting 1 from 4. 1 from 4 means 1 is starting from, I feel it is wrong. I feel, let me show you. Let me show you. Mm, might up. Suppose I want to extract, suppose I want to extract 10 and true. And if I want to extract 10 and true, then I have to actually assign that I want to extract 1, and from 1, because 10 is starting from 1, 10 index of 10 is 1. So from 1, I want to extract maybe 2. You are going to suppose that it is true, but it is not 2. If I assign 2 here, then it will not give me true. It will just give me 10. If you want to see, then let me show you. If I run this, it is only giving me 10 and the comma, because true, actually if I want to show the true, the indexing of true is not 2. The indexing of true is 3. If I assign here that might of 1 to 3, then indexing of true is 3. Now you can see it is assigning 10 and true, because it never takes the last value. Now let me see. 1 is first index, 10 is second index, true is the third index. That is very much true. Sorry, 0 is 1 is a is 0, 10 is 1, true is 2. But what do you mean by 3 then? Actually, tuples or strings, it never takes the last element of the variable. It never takes. Suppose I am assigning 1 to 3, then it is not going to take the third element. If I am assigning 1 to 2, it is not going to take the second variable, second element. If I am assigning 1 to 4, it is not going to take the fourth element of the variable. So when I am assigning 1 to 3, it is not taking the third element. It is taking before, I mean, the last element before the third element. So that means it is taking 10 and true. True is the second element. So it always takes, mm, um, it doesn't take the last variable, and it always takes a variable before the last variable. It always takes up to the variable which is not the last variable, but the variable before the last variable. That means, suppose if I assign 0 to 2, now you are going to suppose, you are going to tell that if I am assigning 0 to 2, that means it is supposed to give me 0 and 10 and true, because obviously a is 0, 10 is 1, true is 2, so it is supposed to give me everything. But as you can see here, it is not giving me a, 10 and true. It is not giving me true. Why is it not giving me true? Because it never takes the last element, or the last indexing. The last indexing is true, the limitation or boundary is 2, so it will not take 2. It will not take 2, it will take the elements up to 1. So that's how you can actually extract the elements from the tuple. And now we are heading to the next part, that the basic operators in the tuple. So suppose I want to extract, or I want to, basically I have extracted, I want to do some operations of tuple. If I want to change the tuple, then as I have said earlier that you can't change the tuple. Tuples are immutable. So suppose in this portion, let me open the Jupyter notebook, and then I will be able to show you. So suppose in this portion I want to change my tuple. I want to change my tuple, and in my tuple I want to, within my tuple I want to, here you can see that, suppose I want to change the indexing. So for the changing, suppose I want that in first index, in place of 10 I want 20. So for that I have to give my tab 1, third bracket within, and is equal to, I am assigning 20. So that means I am willing to convert the 10 into 20 in the tuple, in my tuple. So now if I run this, actually here I have made a mistake. It will show me an error if I run this. Now it is okay. It will show me that type error, because tuple object does not support item assignment. You can't actually change the formation of tuple. You can't actually change the elements of the tuple. So tuples are immutable. That's what I mean here. Now, next thing is the finding the length of the tuple. That is very easy. We all know it. The number of elements present in tuple is basically the length of the tuple. As you can see from here that we have 6 elements, and when I just give length up, So I can do it here also in the Jupyter notebook if I try to do this. Okay, let me open a new thing. If I give lane and within bracket I give the variable name, that is my tab, then I can see what happens. It is showing me 3 because there are 3 elements in my tuple, A, 10 and true. So that's how we can actually find out the length of the tuple. Similarly, concatenating tuples is nothing but adding the tuples. So suppose we have two tuples, tub 1 and tub 2. I feel spellings or typing are some mistakes I have done here. Although, how can we concatenate tuple? Let me show you. So suppose I have two tuples. One is tup 1, and within tup 1 I have some variables. Suppose I have 10, comma 20, comma 30, and I have another tuple that is tup 2, and within tup 2 I have some another variables, and that variables are 40, comma 50. Sorry, I have some objects here. Okay, 40, comma 50, comma 60. Now I have some elements, or I have some values in my top 1 and top 2 variable, and I want to just add these two tuples. So I will just give it is normal addition, top 1, and you have to give plus, and then you have to write the top 2. So if you do this, then you can see if I run this, it will be added. Okay, but it will not be added like 10 plus 40, 50, 20 plus 50, 70. It will not be like that. It will be added like an array. The arrays will be added 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and 60. So that's how you can actually add a tuple or concatenate a tuple. Repeating tuple elements. Now, how you can actually repeat and repeat a tuple element? Let me show you. So now for repeating tuple elements, the repeating tuple elements is not a very difficult thing. You can easily do it. I can at first let me show it from the PPT. Then you will get a better idea also that for repeating the tuple elements you have to just give the multi you have to just use the asterisk, and you have to give the number that how many times you want the repetition of the tuple. That means just it is just like multiplying the tuple with a number, and that many times it will be actually repeated. So suppose I am here, and I want to repeat my tuple. I want to repeat the top one. Top one is 10, 20 and 30, and I want to repeat top one. I want to repeat it, suppose I want to repeat it twice. So I will just write up 1 into twice. And if I run this, you can see it is 10, 20, 30, 10, 20, 30. So it is being repeated twice. If I give thrice here, it will be repeated thrice. So now if I run this, it will be thrice. So that's how we can do it. And next part, I feel you can actually concatenate and add. You can do the both the things in the same way. Suppose I want top one thrice repeated thrice, and I want to add it with top 2. Then actually I can do it also. So if I run this, now you can see the top one is being repeated thrice, 10, 20, 30, 10, 20, 30, and 10, 20, 30, and the top 2 is being also added to it, 40, 50, 60 is being added to it in the last portion. So that's how you can actually concatenate the tuples and repeat the tuples. And if I want to find out the minimum value of the tuple and the maximum value of the tuple, then it is very easy to understand this. So suppose I have a tuple here, and let me show. Suppose I have a tuple 1, and I want to find out the minimum value of the tuple 1. How can I find out the minimum value of tuple 1? So for the minimum value of tuple 1, you have to just give minimum, and you have to give the name of the variable, name of the variable that you want to find out. So the name of my variable is tuple 1, and I will give the name of that variable and minimum tuple 1. So if I run this, it is going to say. Okay, let me do it here. I feel maybe minimum tuple what. You can see the minimum value of the tuple 1 is 10, which is being denoted or shown here. And similarly, if you want to find out the maximum value of tuple 1, then that is also easy. You have to just write max tuple 1. And if you run this, you will get the maximum value of tuple 1, that is 30. So that's how you can actually find out the minimum and maximum value of tuple. So these are the some basic functions of tuple. We can actually repeat the tuple elements. We can actually find the minimum and maximum value of tuple elements, and we can find out the we can find out concatenate the tuple elements. We can actually do some other operations like finding the length of the tuple. We cannot immute the tuple and extract the tuple. We can extract the tuple. We can find the type of the tuple. So that's how we can actually do it tuple. And what are these are the some functions of tuple. In the next video, we are going to learn about the next data structure, that is the list.